Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for this match reaction to Chelsea versus Palace. Chelsea winning 1-0 with that Kai Havertz header. Finally getting a win. Finally, 3 points. And now hoping that we can kick on from this as well. We'll be talking about that game, certain individual players, player ratings, all of that stuff as well. However, we are going to start off before reviewing all of this on some transfer news, and it involves around Caicedo. We'll be talking about Caicedo on the channel today, so that'll be something that we'll be getting into to start with. There's a bit on Christopher Nkunku. We're also going to be talking about the news in and around Mudryk because we've not even had this conversation. On Friday there was no talk about him. Saturday, we get that breaking news from Fabrizio Romano in regards to him joining. And then Sunday, he's at Chelsea at the Bridge. It's been a mad couple of days if you're a Chelsea fan at the moment. Barley, Paul Winstanley, Todd Bowley out in the market, becoming active, trying to get deals done for this football club. We are going to be talking about Mudryk. We are going to be talking about Caicedo. We've also got an interview which Ben Jacobs has had with one of the directors at Brighton, talking about Caicedo's and his links to Chelsea. We are going to be going through that as well, along with yesterday's game, which I was at. I have lost my voice a bit, so sorry if my voice sounds a little bit croaky. But yeah, it's a little bit at the moment. But big up to every single one of you guys. Nearly 100 of you guys here already. Smash that like. Get these likes up. Lines open today as well. We're going to get the lines open a bit earlier to get you guys involved in the chat. And yeah, let's cue the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are all well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. Over 100 of you guys here already, so big up to every single one of you that are here. We are going to go through the chat in a second, but like I just said prior to the intro, we're going to talk about transfers, starting with Caicedo, a bit of Nkunku, a bit of Mudryk. We're going to go through all of that now, and then we're going to review the game, talk about individual players, talk about the performance, quick player rating, bring you guys in to get involved as well. Someone just asked me something. One of my boys, yes, Ches, if you're watching, I will get it over to you in a bit. Give us 20 minutes or so, mate, and I'll get it over. But over 110 of you here. Big up to every single one of you guys. Let's go through the chat. Lots to discuss. Mudryk is a Chelsea player. Friday's show, it wasn't even crossed in our minds. He was going Arsenal. That's what we were told. But Barley and Paul Winstanley jump on a plane Saturday, fly to Antalya, get the deal done, shake the hands of the president of Shakhtar, take Mudryk take Mudryk on the plane with him, and take him all the way back to the Bridge. Which then he had his medical on Sunday, and then was announced at the Bridge on Sunday half-time against Palace. It's been some crazy times, crazy moments at Chelsea so far. And how happy are we with this deal? Well, at the beginning, I was very shocked. I didn't really know how to feel. I looked at the price and I was like, what are we doing? Like, we need to sort the midfield out. But then I sort of took a step back and I allowed it to, develop, understand, wait for more news. How's it all working? What's the installment plan, etc., etc., etc. And we're going to talk about all that in a second as well. But let's say hello to everyone. Mixter, big up to you. Proud to be Geordie as well. Hope you're well. Leo, nice to see you. Chelsea OG. Ryan, nice to see you. Kazim, nice to see you. Steve, big up to you, bro. Ryan, Fatah is in the house. Starts the show. I know you're in there. Start the show. I already started the show, man. I'm here. M3, nice to see you, bro. Big game at Anfield as well. Could be going to that game, provided I can get a ticket down to Liverpool. I was at the game yesterday. That's why my throat's a bit croaky at the moment. So yeah, just heads up if I sound a bit weird. Jason, nice to see you. Don's back in the house. It will be a good one. It will be a good one. Big up to Miles as well. Kazim, nice to see you. TGN. Gotta keep coughing, man. Catman, Ashraf. Also, we got it. Sports Capital. I bet you're happier than you have been. Well, a win's a win. And like I said to you, the performance aside, we needed them 3 points. Forgetting how we played. And don't get me wrong, I think we should have been 1-0 up by half time with the chances we had. But, you know, the boys got it done. Kai Havertz with a great header as well into the top corner. Should have scored in the first half, in my opinion, as well. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Big up to Mohamed as well. Trent is crying right now, is what he's saying. Yeah, he's got to face Mudryk if he starts on the weekend, which I expect him to potentially do. He's got a whole week to train with the team. Yeah, people keep saying this. Jem, I saw you live on TV next to who you spoke with. Did you? Yeah, people keep saying this. They see me on TV, but I haven't seen the clip. Don't know how you just saw me, but yeah, big up. Linda, where do you think you'll finish at the end of the season? I don't know, is the answer to that at the moment. I just need to see whether we can put a consistent run of form together, which is something all us Chelsea fans need. We need to start winning. We need to start accumulating points. Champions League out the window. A lot of people say it is. There's still a lot of football to play. Yes, when you look at it, look at the table and where we are. But I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm waiting to see how our window goes, to be honest. Big up, finally 3 points. Can't wait for Mudryk to run riot. I honestly, you know, I've watched bits of him. Not going to say I watched loads of him, but I've watched bits of him. Jim, did you see Todd in Con? Yeah, I heard this. Hey, Todd was sitting in Con Space yesterday. Why everyone was why everyone was talking about players and this, that, and the other, which is quite interesting that an owner would sit in a Chelsea space, listening to the fans' views and put opinions and stuff, whatever. But yeah, big up, G. Still hate the thumbnail. That ain't King Kai. Well, listen, Chelsea OG, he scored the goal yesterday, mate. If he didn't score, we wouldn't have won that game. So let's not dig at King Kai today. You know, he still should have scored earlier and whatever, and his performance wasn't overly great, but still, he scored the goal, bruv. And that's all we can ask for. He scored the goal. Right, let's get into things, shall we? Because there's a lot of transfer talk to get into before we talk about the game as well, which I want to talk on. So let's get into things as of now. And I want to start with the deal for Mudryk before we get on to Caicedo. I want to talk about Mudryk quickly because he is a Chelsea player. He has decided to mud the red side of London in Arsenal and come over to Chelsea. These guys since November, I'm talking about Arsenal, have been talking about him being an Arsenal player, comparing him to some top players like Neymar's and other people, saying that he is perfect, that he's going to run riot, that he only looks at Arsenal, he only sees Arsenal, it doesn't matter who else comes for him, he won't turn. Well, it took them 2 months for an Edu, who was in Poland trying to sort this out, to try and negotiate a deal with Shakhtar. As for Chelsea, it took us 1 day. It took Egbali 1 day to go and get the goods, the package, and bring back the package. Persuading Mudryk, persuading the president of Shakhtar to sell him to us as well. And you know what's funny with all of this? We may be in the mud. Yeah, we may be in the mud at the moment. Probably one of our worst seasons ever when you think about it in the last 20 odd years. But we still have pulling power. And yes, we do have money. Lots of money by the looks of it. We're backed by, you know, a consortium. I don't think people really fully understand in terms of money. This is what Roman had in money compared to what this consortium has in money are two different things. You know, and Clear Lake Capital, Egbali and himself, let alone Bowley and Handros Fitz as well on the side, are guys and that have companies and have partners who are also billionaires who are actively involved in Chelsea Football Club. And we have a lot of money, and consortium may be the route again that most big football clubs may choose to go down after seeing the way Chelsea are run. We question the consortium business. Can it be run by a group of people? What will they be like? Will they be active? How would they act? Will they just sit back and not care and do a Glazers and just, you know, nothing? Well, they haven't. They are actively involved. They're actively at the bridge. They're shaking the players of the hand, shaking the hands of the players. They are spending money, and it's just about spending the money right. And at the moment, People moan that they're bringing him forwards, arguably me a little bit, because I want the midfield addressed. Now we're being told that by the end of January that we may have also a midfielder in, one at least. And then obviously we'll probably get another in the summer. But they are active and they're trying to be smart with what they're doing. You look at the instalment package, and when I first saw this deal for Mudryk, I was a bit annoyed because I was like, 100 mil? Enzo Fernandez? What's going on? Why are we spending this money? What are we doing? Why are we, have they prioritised this forward line and this guy for rather than an Enzo? But then you deep it. And it all falls down to the way it's packaged up, the instalment. This guy and his package, it's working out minus the add-ons about 62 to 66 million. With the add-ons, you add another 26 million, and them add-ons only get paid to Mudryk based upon him achieving stuff for this football club. So it might be winning a title, it might be getting Champions League, it might be scoring the amount of goals, it might be God knows. But actively, them add-ons are in place to give the guy an incentive. Here's your incentives. You've got 26 million sitting there that you could take. This is where you've got to help this football club get to. And when you think about it, 66 million split over a course, and then we're being told on top of all of this by the president that 20 odd million of his money that Chelsea are paying are going to Ukraine as well. They've agreed, apparently even agreed to get, some of the money for him to go there, take another 20 million off that. It's mad, really. It's mad how we've negotiated this, and why it's took Arsenal so long to try and negotiate this type of deal for Mudryk is funny. It's definitely funny. I was meant to give Sophia the blimmin' link, wasn't I, Sophia? Sophia, sorry, I've been out all day. I forgot to give you the link. I was meant to give it to you this morning. Let me just quickly throw her the link because I did promise that she can join me. Here we go. Link sent. Come in. So yeah, Sophia, you have got the link. So the contract length takes him till 2030. So Mudryk will be at Chelsea till 2030. Long time. He's so young. I haven't watched tons of him, but we know that he's playing well in the Champions League. I've watched bits online, his abilities, what he possesses, how Chelsea could benefit from a player like him. Equally, he's generated the quickest speed in the Champions League compared to any other player as well, apparently, which we're going to look at in a second. He's dribbling ability. His dribbling ability looks very good. He's still very young. He's still coming to learn. His idol is Cristiano Ronaldo, that he looks up to in terms of work ethic. You see images of him in the gym training hard. He's got the right mindset for a young man who's coming to a club that wants to achieve things, and he wants to be better. He even spoke about the tattoos and the meanings of his tattoos on his neck and stuff like that. So, it's working out. Someone's saying about 7.7 million a year for him. Is that before or after tax? Even if you work that out. Yeah, it's going to be minus tax. Yeah, that's got to be minus tax anyway. But anyway, I can't work out the figures on that. Jem watched the Chelsea game yesterday at around 61:20. You were on TV. Where was the game on though? Because it wasn't on. Was it on BT or was it on Sky? I think it was on Sky, wasn't it? I'd have to check it. I would have to check it back. But yeah, it's people argue it's a steal. Yeah, the guy's going to come. He's going to, in many ways, provide something that we don't have, and something that equally that I've stressed that we need is a player that has the drive, the dribbling ability, that attracts players, also has the speed. This boy is quick. This boy is very quick. I'll suss it out, Jim. All right, mate. Cheers. Thank you, mate. Thank you, bro. He's got a good mindset. That's true. He has a good mindset. Couch says he's got world-class pace and technique. Well, from what I've seen, Couch, yes, and the fact that he's still very young and he's hungry to grow, and he's got the mindset that he keeps saying is his idol, Ronaldo, working hard and training hard and, not being satisfied. I like all that. He's hungry. I like hungry players that got a point to prove. And he will add something to Chelsea, something that we have not got, I am telling you, and we should benefit from and look better going forward with. Equally, we still need to sort the midfield out. We know we need to add there. You know, we need that deep line creator. We need that DM, someone that can break the play. Yesterday's game, I was there, I was at the bridge. It was very hard to still watch Jorginho in that position. The amount of times he got spun and turned, even lost the ball under pressure. Just worrying because it was just him. We had Gallagher and Mount next to him and just still wasn't happy. But in terms of Mudryk, you know, how I felt at the beginning about it was a little bit shocked in terms of why are we prioritising this. But when you break down the instalment package, when you break down 20 million of that money going to Ukraine as well, which is a great gesture in many ways. When you think about how much he's getting a year as well, you know, and how young he is, and the fact that he wanted to come to us as well over, you know, the best team in London, obviously, just goes to show, you know, he's currently the fastest player in the Champions League at the moment, generating around 36.6 miles per hour speed is what he's got here as well. I don't know what that, you know, that is impressive. And you've got people like Davis, Tavares, Valverde, Rafael Leao, Dembele, who's also generated that top speed in kilometers as well. So it's impressive, you know. He's definitely going to bring something. And I'd love to see this against Liverpool. I'd love to see this against Trent Alexander-Arnold, you know, on Liverpool. I hope he does come. How have you more money on the... Well, no, it's actually helped the FFP. This is what's interesting. I haven't read too much into it, but I was reading about how it's actually... Why is it doing that then? 1 second. 1 second, Amelia. Sophia. So, yeah, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if he'll start at Anfield or not. Will he come on off the bench? I'm not sure. He's got a week to train with the club. It makes no sense him not being played. So I would give him the go. And obviously we had the Shakhtar president come out with these comments as well via Fabrizio Romano as well, confirming that the Shakhtar president, Akhmetov, we're proud of Mudryk. We will play a friendly against Chelsea at Donbass Arena in a Ukrainian Donetsk. I'm allocating 25 million today to help our soldiers, defenders, and their families also from there. So again, another goodwill gesture. We've heard comments like this as well in regards to Mudryk still. That 20.5 million of his transfer fee via the Mouse Ball will be donated to the Ukrainian soldiers, while Chelsea will also play a friendly at Donbass Arena in the future. So, yeah, 62 million. Does that then go down to 40 million? Yes, no. I mean, we still have to pay that money. That money still comes off Chelsea, and yes, it goes for a good cause. But actively, yeah, for the player and what you're paying for the player, actively goes down another 20 odd mil. So, yeah, there you go. Interesting stuff. Sophia, how you doing?
Hey, I'm in. Hello.
How are you? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. I can hear your TV in the background now. It's a bit too loud.
Is that better?
Turn it down, 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 turn it down.
Now is that better?
That's it, yeah. Thank you very much. That's it. I can hear you now. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
I am not bad. How are you feeling about the Mudryk deal? Obviously, from what we know, 20 million of his money's going to the Ukrainian soldiers. He's a deal with Chelsea till 2030. He's a young player. He's turned down Arsenal as well. I mean, what's your thoughts on this deal? Are you happy?
I can't exactly lie and say, I've watched him play before because I generally haven't. But just by clips I've seen of him, and all like the videos that Chelsea have posted of him in action, his speed is really amazing. I saw like the stats. I think someone posted it somewhere about how fast he is, and like you said, his work ethic is really good, and that he idolizes Ronaldo.
Yep.
So I'm hoping, and I mean he's still young as well, so I hope he's got like a long future with Chelsea. Fingers crossed. So it's good that it's good that we're sort of getting more youngsters in, and also we're going to start that rebuilding process of getting the older players out and getting all the new young ones in.
Getting the rubbish out as well, basically.
I wouldn't say rubbish. I can't say Azpilicueta's rubbish.
I mean, there's others like Ziyech that I still think is rubbish, and Jorginho that's done now. That I think needs to go rubbish. But,
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was surprised that we renewed Kante's contract.
Yeah, that's it. I did think one or two of them would stay. The fact that they chose Kante over. I can hear myself in the background. You got me in the background. Yeah, that's it. I did think one or two of them.
No, I've got my earphones in.
Yeah, I can hear myself repeating myself. I don't know why. Maybe like mute it and then come back in. I don't know. That's it. It's gone now. Okay. Whatever you've done. That's better. That's it. I could hear myself talking. I was like, "What's going on here?" I hear myself. But yeah, so yeah, no. Look, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done at Chelsea, emptying out, getting rid of some of the players that we currently have here. Mudryk added in there. He's still very young. He kind of fits the project idea when you think about what we have bought in the past already with the youngsters that we've bought in. So it's now about seeing Mudryk at Chelsea, and he could be playing against Liverpool against Trent Alexander-Arnold for his first game. So. You never know. That could be the first test of seeing how good he'll be. But, we're going to give him the opportunity as always. He's now a Chelsea player. And I'm always willing to have open arms to players that turn down rivals like Arsenal as well. That was a big L to Arsenal Football Club. And the fact that they're the top of the league and we're still in the mud and we're still attracting players like Mudryk, goes to show that Bowley and Egbali, whatever the project idea is moving forward with Potter, must be a good one. In my opinion, but we don't know it. I'd like to know it. I'd like them to sit down and tell the fans, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing that. But, whatever they're saying to the players seems to be attracting these players across. So I think we just need to give it time, don't we? Equally.
I think so, yeah. It is going to be a long process to rebuild. But hopefully, judging by what they've done now and who they're bringing in and how much money they're spending, it's looking promising.
Oh, look who's in the chat. Surprise. Big up to Fats in the house as well. Nice to see you here, my man. Right, we are going to talk Caicedo. We're going to talk about this guy very quickly as well because there's a little bit of news in and around him. Everyone thought he'd gone quiet. What's happening with Christopher Nkunku? Well, Nkunku, via Fabrizio Romano and the RB Leipzig director has said that the signs are very clear that he's moving to Chelsea. He told Bill TV. Can confirm again that Nkunku deal is 100% signed. He's Chelsea's player as revealed in December. No doubts will join in July. You excited for this one, Sophia?
I'm a bit nervous, obviously because of, the famous Bundesliga attacks. So, yeah, I really hope that he does do well in the Premier League. And, yeah, it's just one of those players that, I don't know.
Well, you watch him. You watch enough of him, right? You've seen him in the German league. So from what you've seen him in the German league, do you think he will benefit from coming to a Chelsea team and playing in the Premier League? Do you think it'll work?
I think so. He's got the pace, which is definitely what we need. So, yeah, I'm just hoping he can fit in with the rest of the team. But,
Well, yeah, I think he will do as well. I think, Nkunku is the perfect versatile player. He's someone that I wanted a couple of summers back anyway. How we use him is going to be the key. I think we will play him sort of off that sort of striker role, but have the versatility with maybe other players around him to switch in and out, drag off the left and whatever. So, the thing with Nkunku is you want him in the box and you want to make sure you're creating enough. And the creating part is something that we're not doing enough at Chelsea because we don't have that. I think Mudryk will give us creativity now. Someone that I always said that I think Chelsea missed so much in the past. What we need in the team is direct players that are able to dribble, take players on, attract players, and then, a bit like Eden Hazard in many ways. I'm not saying he's Hazard, but, like that sort of creativity of being able to you know, open up the pitch is what I'm saying. And I think Mudryk's going to give us that. I think he's going to be very direct. I think he's quick, that we already know. You know, he will look to try and create for people in the box, and you know that's going to benefit an Nkunku and whoever else is playing up front at the time as well. So I am quite excited to see what happens. Sammy says she's got Werner PTSD, is what she's saying. I mean, everyone worries because of him coming from the Bundesliga, but ultimately, I'll just be honest with you. I think it's more about the system, the structure, and how quick we can improve that system and structure, and you know, create enough for these players. Because yeah, you're right, it could just fail completely, especially if we don't play to his strengths, especially if we don't, you know, get him involved in the games and i.e. create enough for him. So these are things that I think we have to address and we have to try and find a way into as well. I've seen the comments on Levi Colwill. He was at the game yesterday as well. You know, he's one for the future. You know, he's definitely one for the future, and I expect him to be back in the team in the way that he's playing for Brighton soon as well. But Chelsea got a lot of good young, bright players, and one that we're going to be talking about very soon is one that played yesterday and made his debut in Badiashile as well. So we'll talk about him shortly. I just really want to quickly jump on, because I'm behind already, I want to speed this up, but Caicedo news, because we've had news that from Ben Jacobs that Chelsea are actively exploring to sign him, although Brighton maintain no offers yet. Chelsea prepared to pay 65 million plus. Brighton would expect 75 million plus to consider a January sale. I think that's a lot of money, even over an instalment plan for him. However, we know it's an area that we need to address. So then it goes to how important is he coming into the team, and how much will we benefit from having someone like him in the team? And I think when you look at our midfield, even with Enzo Fernandez at 120 million, even though it was a lot of money, most of us would have said, yeah, get it done. So I don't know with this one. I like Caicedo and what he did against Liverpool over the weekend, and how progressive he is, breaks the play. You know, he's reading the game, Premier League proven as well, which is a big tick. You know, we'll have to see. I mean, Caicedo for you, Sophia, do you think he's a good option for Chelsea?
It's really the best option, I suppose, to be linked to. But is he really going to be worth that much money?
I say that again. Is he really what?
Is he really going to be worth that much money?
That's what we're being told. But then Brighton are just going to hold us to ransom because they know Chelsea have got the money, right? That's what most of these people do anyways. Most of these clubs do. They look at Chelsea and go, oh, you know, they've got X amount. We can use them and you know, and get an extra 10 mil out of them, extra 15 mil out of them, you know, and that's the problem for Chelsea. The issue is sometimes I think we have to look past the money in certain positions. And I think with midfield, it's one of them areas, but then ultimately you need to make sure that if you're going to spend that money, he needs to be the right profile player, he needs to fit. And bringing in someone like Caicedo doesn't mean it's done. It means that we still need more, and that will then go until the next summer, you know, and that's the question, whether it's a Declan Rice, which we're being told he's being linked to Arsenal. Man City are interested in him as well. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, I mean, I will, but not today, because the Colwill one, I think it will. I think you'll see more come out very soon, and we'll talk about that on another show. We've got a couple of shows going on this week. So, guys, over 320 of you guys here at the moment. Big up to every single one of you guys that are here. Smash the like, please. I know we haven't got enough likes, so let's get these likes up. We've got a quick. Where is it? Quick little video in regards to Caicedo. James has put in a donation. Thank you for that. He says, you just buying players for the sake of no pain. You must be an Arsenal or Man United or someone fan to say that, mate. So if your team's not doing it, I feel sorry for you, mate. If that's how you feel at the moment, that you're having to watch teams spend money, you know, and try and strengthen their squads. But yeah, thank you for the donation, though, man. I appreciate it so much. But yeah, big up to you. Right, let's go on to this video clip that I found of the Brighton. I think he's one of the Brighton directors there, talking about Caicedo and the links. And this is via Ben Jacobs. So I'm just going to put myself on mute as well. So let me.
Moises specifically, have any offers come in to date?
No, I'm pleased they haven't.
So anything that suggests Liverpool have made not one but two bids, or Chelsea might be circling, is premature.
Maybe they haven't got my email address because I haven't received it.
Give me some insight into how you formulate a fee. For example, when Graham Potter was still at Brighton, he half joked that if a bid came in for, at the time it was quoted as 42 million, it would only buy Caicedo's boots, and that the player might be worth upwards of 70, 80, 90 million. How do you establish what you think is fair or better than market value?
I think footballers, rightly or wrongly, are like any other commodity in the sense that the market determines the price. If they've got a rare talent, if they're under a long contract, if they're in high demand because there aren't other players like them in the position that they play and a club needs them, then the price can be whatever it needs to be. And when it comes to a player who's just won a World Cup or a player that's competing in the World Cup, of course their value perhaps goes up even further because they've been able to show that they can compete and perform at the highest level. So we don't really go into negotiation with a set figure in mind. We invest a lot in players. There's a transfer fee, there's wages, there's the coaching and development that we've put in place for them. All those things, agents' fees, they're all part of the mix that determines ultimately what the price is. And of course, the market, as I say, is the ultimate determiner of whatever price we can sell for.
And do you still agree with Graham Potter that 42 million would only get Caicedo's boots?
I'm not sure that it would include the boots now, maybe just the laces. But joking aside, I think every player ultimately, the value is determined by the market. And Graham's comments were, part in jest, but part serious, because he has been an exceptional player for us since he came into the Premier League, developing all the time. A young man, great attitude, fantastic work ethic. Very, very nice human being off the pitch. So, all those things contribute to the value of a footballer when it comes to that moment.
Not giving much away, is he, there, to be fair? And I don't think he would, even in an interview like that. But he's made it very clear that, he's going to be valued high. He's a very important player to them. And, if Chelsea come knocking on the door, they'll make sure that they price him right and to let him go for the right price. Players like that are playing so well in teams that are so important, like Caicedo, especially in the January window, to try and price them is always going to be very hard, because once you take a player away from Brighton that improves their squad, ultimately they have to replace that player. And sometimes they just can't do that in the January window. So the only real way you can scare away clubs is by putting stupid prices on them. And that's why, if you saw it in the summer, he might still go for that money, but there's more of a negotiating period to be able to try and, work it out better over an installment plan, or et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of now, I think he's going to cost us a lot of money, and it's going to be down to Egbali and Bowley to decide on whether they want to spend that type of money now. And it goes down to the importance. We know how important it is. I would like us to have someone come in January from the midfield and get another one in the summer. But it's going to cost us a lot of money, isn't it, Sophia, for Caicedo?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the downside at the moment. But we do, like you said, we need to build the midfield. So
Don't want to see Jorginho anymore, do you? For the next couple of months?
He just hasn't got it anymore like he used to. His pace is just awful now, I think. Hopefully this is his last season with us.
100%. We will see with Caicedo, and if any more news breaks out. Now, big up to DJ Sav as well for the comment. Over 360 people here, nearly 400 people here, 30 minutes in. Big up to you. We are going to review the game. I'll talk about the game very soon. People saying they saw me on TV in 61 minutes. I need to see that. I've not seen it. But yeah, I'll check. I'll definitely have to check that out as well. But when you look at what Chelsea have done actively up to this point, or what they have so far, you look at these João Felix, all right, he's on a short-term loan. We just bought in Mudryk. We've got Sterling, Koulibaly, Aubameyang, Wesley Fofana, Cucurella, Badiashile, Carney, and Zakaria. I'd say bye to Aubameyang, to be honest. I'd get rid of him if I could after what I saw yesterday. I'll explain to you what I saw from Aubameyang yesterday, which really annoyed me, to be honest. But everyone else there is the future. Maybe Koulibaly, maybe people think he might be pushed out slightly with the likes of Fofana and Badiashile and potentially Colwill coming through. But when you look at the attacking line, João Felix and Mudryk, you're going to see a bit of that once he's back after his 2 games, after his stupid tackle. So he'll be back in. Zakari has played quite well for Chelsea. Carney, again, decent game as well. Cucurella needs a bit more time, I think, at Chelsea as well to fully settle himself in. And Sterling, well, there's talks around Sterling potentially being up for sale and whatever. I'll be honest with you guys now. I'm actually going to bring that up. Yeah, this one. I don't know why people bring out comments like this. You know, I'm going to come to that super chat in a second as well. But Chelsea are already willing to listen to others for Sterling, despite the English forward only moving to the club last summer. I think that's the biggest load of crap I've ever heard in my life. And I mean, Football Insider, no offense, I don't know who this is. I'm going to even have a look now. Who the hell is Football Insider? That makes no sense. But you don't buy Raheem Sterling. Yeah, all right. He just talks actively about any player across football. So fair enough. But I disagree. I think it's a load of cap. I think he's one for the future. I think we're building with him in it. I think he is a part of the process for the future, especially one of the players that's actually in his prime. Even with Mudryk, João Felix, Havertz, whoever else, Nkunku, all being there, I think you'll see that Raheem Sterling will be heavily involved in this squad. And I always said, when you buy Raheem Sterling, you need more around him, you know, to actively get the best out of him. So I don't see Sterling going anywhere anytime soon. I think he's here for Chelsea, and he will be here for Chelsea for a while, especially through this process period on us improving. And if we want to get closer to the top against these teams, you want players like Sterling, because actively, when he is on form, he puts the balls in the back of the net. You know, 3rd highest goal scorer in Premier League history as a winger. This guy is, let's not forget that. He's not in the most greatest of forms at the moment, but we equally know why, you know, and he's obviously injured now, and we could really do with him, ideally now to a degree. So, you know, Sterling is going nowhere, isn't it, Sophia?
Yeah, I think that report, that's just a load of bull. I don't know why he decided to make that, but that's really stupid.
Pretty much. There we go. But we got to call it. I always say that I call any news that I see, and someone told me to just talk on it earlier. So there you go. There's my thoughts on that. Also, let's quickly read this comment again, or donation. Thank you for the donation again, James Mbappe. You zero plan in your signings, just hijacking teams. So you must be an Arsenal fan. I've got a feeling, mate, you're an Arsenal fan for this kind, just hijacking teams. Well, we done the same thing with William when he went to Spurs, and then he was about to have a medical, and we decided to sign him. And actively, he ended up coming to Chelsea and becoming more successful there than he did going to Spurs. So he made the right choice. Who knows with Mudryk? Maybe he'll make the right choice in the long run coming to Chelsea. But obviously, there's a project there. There's obviously something that's attracting these players. And, you know, why it may look that we have zero plan at the moment on the pitch, we are still on a rebuild. We are still trying to build towards what it is wherever we're trying to become as a football club. So it's too early for anyone to really sit here and call Chelsea out on plan. I think there is a plan. It's just that we're not sure what the plan is yet. So I'm pretty sure we will get a get some idea in it very soon. Big up to Ram in the house as well. Talks of Qatar buying Liverpool. Well, if they do, you're going to have some serious money behind you. I think you'll again be like Chelsea, run like a consortium, which is what I think is going to be the way forward as well. Big up to Ram in the chat. Big up to Heike and Martin as well. Sterling carried us during Thomas Tuchel's times. He needs to stay. Of course he will. He will stay. Yeah, 100%. I would not even entertain the idea. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the Colwill. People keep mentioning about the Colwill thing. Yeah, you know, there's a potential contract extension for Colwill, and that's a part of the reason he was at the game yesterday. Yeah, because he's playing well, and part of the reason why Chelsea are loaning players out is for players like Colwill, who are having a good time at Brighton, to be monitored on the side whilst we're still improving. Because if we don't want to buy in a position like we was going to buy Gavordi out, for example, and we see that we have Colwill in the Premier League outshining and playing well, then why are we going to go and buy Gavordi out when we've got Colwill? You've got your own fresh produce there, pretty much, in many ways. You know, the players that are yours, that are out on loan, that can come back in and have improved because they've been playing consistently. And this is another part of the plan of what I think the consortium are going to try and do when they loan players out. I think they will have a keen eye on players and give them the opportunity. You know, so Colwill at the moment, if he can continue his form, be consistent, have a good season at Brighton, could be potentially called back in the summer. And it is what it is. And that was a part of the reason why it was so important to not have lost him to Brighton, not lose him to Brighton, because we want this opportunity. We don't always have to spend 60, 70, 80 million all the time in every position. When we've got players that we just need to see play more, loan them. And if they ain't good enough, then forget him. He's off the list. We'll get someone else. We'll sell him. With Colwill, that's why they're looking to extend him, potentially in the long run. So we'll see.
Jem, what do you think of the Gallagher and Crystal Palace rumours?
Well, if you'd have heard the Crystal Palace fans yesterday to Conor Gallagher, I don't know why he'd want to go there anyway. They were booing him. They were everything in him, swearing at him, throwing, literally every time he went to take a corner, ripping him to bits. Like they weren't very nice to him, in my opinion. They were really targeting him. So, Conor Gallagher, if we get 35, 40 million and he does potentially go and we don't see him as being a part of the plan of Chelsea Football Club, let him go. Fine, no problem. I have no problem with that. But we'll see. We'll have to see what happens with him at a later stage. But he did have a bad game yesterday, and that's what I want to get into, because I was at the game yesterday. What a lovely tribute it was to Vialli, and obviously some of the boys were brought along as well. Ex-teammates of Gianluca Vialli as well. But yeah, it was. Oh Jesus, what am I doing here? It was nice. It was the way they brought up the video of him. Conor Gallagher's comments in and around seeing all of the legends coming through and showing their respects and standing with him. And that it was a real nice gesture what Chelsea did yesterday. We're also along with the Vialli, the Vialli thing that was created as well for him as well. Apparently Bowley had some involvement in that. I don't know how true that is or if it was the fans, but it was a nice gesture and it was a nice way to sign him off in the way that we did. It was a very respectful way. And then we go into the game and individual performances. And one guy that I wanted to highlight from yesterday was the debut of Badiashile. Stats. I was there. I saw it. But stats was 100% tackle success, 73 passes completed out of 71, 9 clearances, 4 tackles, 0 dribbles, and 5 aerial duels won. He was very good. I'll be honest with you. He looked calm. He looked in control. Very good with his feet for as tall as he is. Winning every header that came in the box, something that we actually need, because I don't think we're actually that strong from corners in terms of height. This guy must have headed out in the second half about 8 or 9 balls. I'm not joking. It was mad. The amount of crosses that they kept whipping in, and he was in the middle, bang, bang, bang. Physically, he had fights with Zaha, and they brought on another guy that was equally as tall as him, and he dealt with him as well. He's got a bit of pace about him. He struggled a bit for the first 10, 15 minutes, but then he just grew into the game next to Thiago Silva and he looked more comfortable. I felt more comfortable watching him in that one game than I had then in Koulibaly in a couple. So, Liverpool's a bigger test, obviously better players, still very early doors for him. But what a way to show what you're about and why we spent the money we did. And I may have potentially proven the owners right and bringing you across. So we'll have to see later on Badiashile. I mean, did you watch the game yesterday, Sophia?
I did, yeah. I was actually amazed by how good he was. He's like the body that we've needed for a long, long time.
Mm. What impressed you about him from watching him? He was just very in control, wasn't he? I would say.
Yeah, I was surprised how well he controlled the balls, and like you said, his height, in the box and heading, and he's just what we need. Compared to Koulibaly, I don't think Koulibaly really has that. But whereas Badiashile, he looks so promising, and I can't wait to see more of him.
So am I. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to jump the gun, but he looked good. It was a big, bold move from Potter, like Haku and Martin said, to throw him in that team as well, and kind of paid off, and I think Koulibaly's played a lot of games as well, so it's definitely worth him, giving him a rest. Big up to Dominic Carney, says Jem, but I don't know if there's something he wants to tell me, but big up to you, my man. Big up to Chelsea fan 55. It will be Chelsea thing if we lose against Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool was shit. Liverpool shit, Chelsea is shit. It's just the battle of the shits, really, isn't it? Who can be shitter?
That sounds amazing.
It is literally that, though, isn't it? It's literally like the battle of the shits. That is what I would call it. between
I'd
Liverpool.
be surprised if Klopp is still there next season. He's having like one of his breakdowns. Like every small thing, he's just having a breakdown. I don't think he'll last that much longer.
Do you not think? Interesting.
I don't think so. I mean, obviously, considering I watched him at Dortmund and how like the end of his Dortmund career came about, it is a bit similar.
I have to see. We'll have to see. But we'll be doing a match preview to that as well later in the week for that. There'll be a lot of supposed transfer shows we'll be doing. 400 people here, though. Over 400 people. We'd big up to every single one of you guys. Big up to Ads in the house as well. Get the likes up. Let's get this over 100 likes on both. I'm going to open up the lines very shortly as well. Get you guys involved to have your say. But let's close the gap to 100 likes, please, guys, as quickly as we can. That's that. Quick player rating. Let's just quickly fly through it, and then I'm going to open up the lines to get people involved. This I'll open up the lines for a lot longer, so people come in and have their say. So let's quickly fly into this. Let's talk about your beloved in love Kepa. How did you feel about his performance yesterday?
I thought he definitely saved our arse quite a few times yesterday.
He did. I agree, with some really good saves. Shame the last two games has been quite poor, isn't it? But you know.
I know you don't like admitting your love for Kepa. I know you're a closet Kepa fan.
Like, I have no love for players that are. Look, I have no problem with Kepa being like a second. I just don't think he's our first. I don't think he's good enough to be a first goalie, in my opinion. Fata says he's a 9. I'd give him an 8 yesterday, though. 8.5, actually. I'll give him an 8.5 because he did make some really good saves that kept us in the game. It could have been 1-1 easily. Like, you can't knock it. Yes, guys, just quickly as well. We've got a GNA TV Discord server where there is a couple of us already in there chatting, discussing football. Get involved. The link is there. Click that link and it will take you over to the Discord. Download the Discord app if you haven't got it already. And it will take you into the group that we have over there. And that just basically keeps you guys up to date, involved with us and whatever else as well. Kepa is not that good looking. Ali is better looking and he actually good at saving shots, is what Ram says to you.
I didn't even bring up his looks, so I don't know why you're bringing up his looks.
That's funny. Save of the season contenders. Of course you would say that. When it went to Surfer, of course he would say he's a 9. I wonder why, innit? But anyway, he was an 8.58. He had a good game yesterday, but, you know, it is what it is. We move. Badiashile. I'm giving him an 8.8. 8. I'm giving him an 8. I think he was very good. I thought he was very, very good, actually. He surprised me how comfortable he was on the ball and stuff. So good debut, good on the ball, aerially. We spoke about him already. Giving him an 8. What are we saying, Sophia?
I think 8, yeah.
8, yeah.
He looks really promising.
My bad. Pressed the wrong button.
I was like, oh my God, Jem's left me now.
Once in a blue moon, I always do that. Sorry. El Monstro, Thiago Silva. What are we saying about the El Monstro, the man, the myth, the legend? He was so good yesterday again, man. He's just so good. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care.
Like when is he not good? He just always turns up no matter what.
Yeah. I have heard some people say that they think that he needs to move on and he's part of the problem. We need to have more physical defenders and whatever, but you just can't beat the quality of this guy. The levels, you know, he's got levels. You know, again, he was an 8 and, you know, he's better than Van Dijk anyway. We know this, you know, even at his age, he's better than Van Dijk. Ram knows this as well. He's admitted it a couple of times that Thiago Silva is the man. He's the best in the league as well. Easily 9s as well. You know, it's yeah. There's not much more to say, is there? It's just Thiago Silva. He's a baller. Exactly. Chalobah had a better game yesterday, didn't he? Obviously, he was quite bad in the game the game before that against Fulham, but he came back in and he looked again pretty solid. Done his bit. Dealt with Zaha, by the way. He was very quiet. May I just say, he was sulking most of the game, crying like a baby. Yeah. I'll give him a 7, in my opinion. What are you saying, Sophia?
Yeah, I say 7.5.
You admitted that Thiago Silva was better than Virgil van Dijk, even at this point. Like, he's just better. Just a better defender, you know? At least you're just talking honesty. You know, as a Liverpool fan. Let's move on to the midfield, Jorginho. Why I feel he did okay, I just felt he got caught a couple of times. He slows us down. We like playing sideways and backwards. We don't move the ball forward quick enough. Kind of drives me a bit crazy watching him in the middle, but, you know, equally, he done the best he could. In my opinion, he was more involved than he has been in other games. 7. What are you saying?
I say 6.
6, yeah, I'll give him a 6, actually. I was being too nice, when We'll give him a 6 as well. Let's give him a 6. Sources tell me today that Jorginho, seeking out. What's it say? Sources tell me today that Chelsea are seeking out Italian clubs for Jorginho to leave this month. As I also understand that Leicester are targeting Ruben Loftus-Cheek this window, is what Simon Phillips has just come out with some breaking news. Apparently, Jorginho is being targeted for this month. Whether we let him go or not, I don't think that's the case because we haven't even got any 6s right now. We've just got him and Kovacic that are fit. So unless we're bringing players in, I don't see Jorginho going anywhere, but we'll have to see what happens. And then we move from there and we move on to Conor Gallagher. Now, I'm going to ask you, Sophia, what did you think of Conor Gallagher yesterday?
I thought he could have been better, but he wasn't horrendous.
Right. I thought he was better than he has been the last couple of games. I thought he was more involved, made some good runs in behind. Got caught the ball a couple of times, but he was better. He was better than he has been, in my opinion, in this game. Still not sold on him being in the team constantly, but I don't know. I just stuck with Conor Gallagher. I don't know where I see him as like in Chelsea still. You know, I'm just not sure. I'm going to give him a 7. Give him a 7 on this one. But,
I'm probably going to do 6. I mean, he wasn't as bad as the previous game, but I don't know. He still needs to really prove himself, I think.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%. So we've done him. What about Lewis Hall? I forgot to talk about Lewis Hall. I thought, you know what? I thought Lewis Hall struggled a little bit, but at the same time, you know, gave us quite a lot going forward, especially in the first half. Going forward, took on players and quite confident going forward. And, you know, I don't know. I like Lewis Hall. I think he's good. I just think he needs a bit of time. You know, he's playing more now. He's in the team more now. It looked like he got a little bit of a knock, a bit of an injury. But yeah, it was a lot better than he was the last couple of games as well, equally. So I'll probably say about a 7 maybe on him. What are you saying? 6 point, maybe a 6 actually. 6, between a 6 and a 7 is what I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say 7. I mean, I can't believe like the amount of hate I was seeing towards him yesterday. I'm just like, are you serious? Like some of the previous games, he's been one of our best players.
100%.
Like for his age as well, he has so much potential.
100%, I agree. Yeah, on a serious note, with 20 million of that money is supposedly going to Ukraine soldiers anyway, Ram. So yeah, we've paid it, but you know, it's 20 million. It's actually going as a good gesture, mate. But yeah. Anyway, we move from Lewis Hall because he's equally not one of the problems as well. We are going to be opening up the lines very soon. Let's go on to Hakim Ziyech. What did you think of Hakim Ziyech yesterday?
I don't know. He's one of those players that he disappears, but then he reappears, disappears, reappears. He has good games, bad games. I'd still give him a 7 for yesterday's game.
7 for yesterday's game. Okay, cool. I would probably give him a 6. I still think he's way toward the ball. I think he had a better game. Don't get me wrong, but you know, he set up the goal. Maybe a 6.5. He set up the goal with that cross, but I just expect so much more from him. He's still weak. He can't take players on. I don't know, man. I just don't think he suits the Premier League. I still stick by that. I really don't. I don't think he's made for this league.
You think he suits more like Bundesliga?
Yeah, you know, he just like people say 8s and whatever. He was great. I wouldn't say he was great. I was there. I would not say he was great. There's nothing great about it. You know, he linked up play, played some couple good balls in, but equally, you know,
don't hate. I gave him a higher rating than Gem.
No. He wasn't that great. I don't know why we get so over-thingied over.
Did you actually watch the game? Sounds shifty. Are you joking? Is it because I'm a female?
No, don't be silly. They won't be saying that. They're you know, everyone has
Just
their own
because
opinion.
just because he doesn't agree with my ratings. That's like Chelsea fans all over. Oh my
Well,
god.
he could have had the assist with Havertz. I'll give him that. He assisted the goal with. Well, yeah, you could say equally he created more yesterday. I just expect more from him. Like, is this the level now? And I'll tell you why. Because I look at him and he's in his prime. You know, I expect more from Hakim Ziyech as a player, the one we saw at Ajax. You guys are just happy because he crossed the ball in a couple of times. You know, he can't take players on, struggles to get past players. He's very weak. He got pushed off the ball very easily yesterday a couple of times. Like, I don't know. I expect more from him. I don't know. I don't know with Hakim Ziyech. I'm going to stick with that. I think he will go anyway, in my opinion. Let's talk about Mason Mount.
Oh god. The amount of fans I see arguing about Mason Mount, I don't even know anymore with him. He has disappeared within the last few games, and I generally don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'll give Mason Mount a 2. I did not rate him yesterday. I didn't even know he was on the pitch at sometimes. He annoyed me at one point. He made a good run down the side. Ziyech played him through, actually. And he went to cross the ball. He had 2 players in the box. He just crossed it straight at the goalie. Like, didn't even bring it back or nothing. And I got so frustrated. I was like, what a poor cross that is, man. And I even shouted it. People looked around. That's why I lost my voice. Because I even shouted it. I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, you know, like, I don't know. Give Mason Mount. For me, he's just not in form at the moment. I expect more from him. You know,
I feel like it's ever since they were talking about this money that he wants a week, his performance has gone down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he was great, in my opinion. He just struggled. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'll say it equally as I see it. You know, I just didn't rate him yesterday. You know, he's just not in good form at the moment. And it's not that I don't like Mason Mount. I'm actually in the middle of this Mount left, Mount right, Mount hate, Mount love. Like, I just say it as I see it with Mount. And with Mount at the moment, just struggled to really get involved, in my opinion. You know, it was hard to watch. I actually thought it was worse than Havertz. People bang on about Havertz. I actually thought Havertz actually was more involved than him in this game. But yeah, we move on from Mason Mount and we jump on to Kai Havertz. Now, frustrated me because he took 1 or 2 touches which were quite bad. And, you know, and I expect his touch to be better. There's one thing I will say about Kai Havertz. So he has a touch, you know, and ultimately he done a really good touch when he got put in the 10 and the ball got played over the top. He caught it on the edge of his toe when he was playing behind Aubameyang, which was quite impressive. He has got the technique to bring the ball down and stuff. You know, sometimes I just feel it doesn't show it enough, you know, and he should have scored yesterday in the first half. That header, that Ziyech cross that landed on his head, just headed over. All right, he got clattered, and it went over the bar. I just expect him to just put that in the back of the net still. You know, he needs to be more clinical when created for. We moan about not being created enough, but then when they are being created for, like they were more yesterday, should have been 1-2 up in the first half. Got to take these chances, you know. So for Kai Havertz, you know, well done, because if he didn't score the goal he did, guys, we wouldn't have won that game. So let's not forget that. You know, it was a very good header, by the way, as well. Good cross by Ziyech on his head. But, you know, he was stuck between 2 players there and he got up quite well and put it in the bottom corner. And, you know, I look past, it's like yesterday I just wanted to win. I wasn't really too fussed about performances, even though we were talking about them now, but I just wanted to win. And, you know, Kai Havertz gets the goal and, you know, it's a great goal, in my opinion, and it wins us the game. So, you know, let's not forget that. I'll probably give him a 6.5 because I still expect more from Kai Havertz from what I'm seeing. I mean, Sophia, what are you saying?
Yeah, he definitely could have scored another goal during that game, but like you said, a goal is a goal. You know, it may not have been an amazing, fantastic goal, but it won us the game. But yeah, I think 6.5. He could have been better, but because he got us the winning goal, he gets a 6.5. I
mean, this is quite generous from Winter Surfer. Usually he gives him like a 1. I mean, he's given him a 7. Good header, but should have scored more. And I agree with him. I think he says it right there, but he's given him a 7. I mean, I thought his overall play weren't that bad. I'll be honest with you. I actually thought he was more involved than I've seen him in the last couple of games. Yeah, he can still be a bit frustrating with the touches here and there. But we've seen better, is what I would say.
I mean, in a way, I'm hoping that, all these rumors are going around that saying, he's going to be the first ones to go, and hopefully he's seen that, and then he's like, oh shit, I better start performing.
Yeah. He needs to rocket up his bum, is what people say he needs. You know what I mean? That's what I would say he does. Discord server, GNA TV, right there, guys. Go and click that link. It will take you directly to me. Over 400 people here now. We are going to open up the lines. 242 people on Chelsea Fan TV at the moment. 170 on GNA TV. We haven't got 100 likes, though. I don't know why we've not got 100 likes yet. Hit the thumbs. Let's hit the thumbs now. Before we get everyone in, I want to see them thumbs up, guys. Get them thumbs up. So please, if you're not hit that like, please do that now. Let's see how quick you can get this up to 100 as well. What I will say real quickly is Aubameyang. Now, I was sitting at the front, as people saw me. I was on the East Lower, and he was warming up with Kovacic and Cucurella. And Cucurella and Kovacic, I think Kovacic turned around once as well. I had loads of kids around me. So there was literally, it was 2 yards away from the players where they're running up and down. And they were screaming their names and whatever. And Cucurella's turned around away. Kovacic, does that. It keeps them happy, For half an hour, they're screaming this guy's name. Yeah, he doesn't even look once. His face looks like a slapped fish. I'll be honest with you, all right? To the point where I actually said something very loud to him, and I was next to him. Yeah, I said, you can hear that these kids are screaming your name, and you can't turn around for once and wave at them. I said, you don't obviously want to be here, do you? And he just grinned. And just ran off up to the bench. And yeah, he came on and whatever. But he just looked like a player that just doesn't give a fuck. Like, his attitude is really shit. I'll be honest with you. Like, he really annoyed me yesterday. You got kids screaming your name and you're warming up on the side. All you can do is just give him a quick wave, this, that, and the other. But he just had this dirty look on his face. Like, I don't know. Did he want to go back to Barcelona? Did he not want to be here? I don't fucking know. But I don't know, man. It was just a very weird reaction. I just don't get any vibes from him whatsoever. What are you saying, Sophia, about Aubameyang? Anything you want to say?
I think he was just a bit of a panic buy. But I mean, compared to ever since he left Dortmund, like, I don't know. I mean, they're saying that, he was amazing at Barcelona. Was he?
I don't know. I mean, he was better at Barcelona than he is at Chelsea, that's for sure. That's what I would say. But yeah, we're...
But yeah, I think he just got his money and that's it.
Yeah, Arsenal first, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he just don't want to be here. It just looks like he don't want to be here, if you want my opinion on this.
Yeah,
but
like you said, his face just always just looks like he couldn't give a shit.
Well, Jim, if I was a striker, they got no service, I would have a sad face as well.
Oh,
The guy gets no service. When you got bums behind him like that, James Charles looking like Havertz and Mason Mount, what do you expect? What do you expect, Jim? He gets nothing. And then when Potter plays him outside on the right, what do you expect? Now, I'm not saying he's...
You're walking around next to fucking kids. You can turn around and wave at them. It's not hard. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think Mason Mount can make a direct pass forward and break a line between two players? Do you think he can do that,
He had
Jim?
chances yesterday. He had chances.
Every time I saw him have the ball, he would go back. And Jim, all I'm saying, I'm not coming here protecting Aubameyang, right? I personally don't really like Aubameyang, right? But when you are a player who gets zero service, if he was in the City team, he would get more service. But if he was, But in this team, you see half the times he never gets service. He's played out on the right side.
Why do you not have that same energy for Kai Havertz?
Because Kai Havertz is supposed to be a creator. He's supposed to be a creator who creates his own.
He plays as a 9. So why does it?
No, but he's supposed to be a creator though.
How can he be creative?
He missed 3 goals yesterday as well.
How can he be creative? If he's
open goals. No, but he's supposed to be his own creation. He's worth 80 million.
No, because your argument is
but I just said, Jim, he had 3 shots yesterday and missed them all.
Oh no, he scored one actually.
Wait.
Yeah, one out of the 4 that he missed up front. But all I'm saying, Jim, is for me, I think Bami's is a different type of player. You give him like Ziyech did to Ziyech that pass. I think it was to someone. I'm not gonna say, but he did that pass where he broke a couple of lines, 2-3 lines, and gave it a nice through ball along the ground right early in the game, 25th minute. Right, that's what something the Aubameyang needs. He needs a pass from the floor to his feet to get a shot. But he can leave for all I care. I won't care. I'm not going to defend him. I don't really care.
We've got a comment here from James Mbappe saying, Sophia, all of your signings are panic buys. Facts. James, you keep saying this, mate. Like, you've said this is the third donation. I've told you.
Tell him thank you for the super chat. That's it.
Thank you for the super chat, mate. I'm not going to keep responding to your comments. I don't know what to say, mate. I've told you the last 2 donations that you put in what the situation is, and you keep saying the same thing, my man. But thank you for the donations.
Arsenal fans just repeat themselves because
it's got to be an Arsenal.
Yeah, because they're losers.
Yeah,
you know what's
that's all they
funny
do.
thing? Like I have many friends of mine who are like Arsenal and Man United fans, and they keep chatting shit that we're shambles. Okay, they're saying that we spend a lot of fucking money, and they're still chatting shit about that. And my cousin, who for some fucking reason he's an Arsenal fan, he told me that he fucking hates us because of the way that we handled the situation with Enzo Fernandez. Mate, that's not my problem. I don't know what to say.
Can I say something quick? As a United fan, I can say this right now, that they're the worst ones, but I'm saying this right now. If Arsenal win the league, guess what? You have to see it as a positive, because if they win, and as a United fan, I'd rather have them win than City. But I'm just saying, if they win, the eyes are on them next season. If they fuck up, they're going to be a laughing stock. The eyes are all on them next season if they win.
Yeah, but they only won that one.
Yeah,
they can play into our hands.
Do you know the scary thing? They win this one against Pep.
Yeah,
that's legendary.
What they'll do is they'll do what Liverpool do. They'll win it for they'll win it 1 year, and then they'll think they're the best ever team to have ever won.
Yeah.
And they will say that.
That's what I'm saying.
They will say
the eyes will be on them next season, bro. The eyes will be on them next season to perform. And if they don't perform, bro, they'll be like Liverpool in 2020.
But I'll be honest with you, who's stopping Arsenal next year other than United if they back your manager properly?
Yeah, United. That's exactly us.
No, this
exactly,
is what I'm saying.
Us,
yeah, it's you. Yeah, but here's the thing: your team isn't even mentally built to compete for a title. So I'm not worried about your manager.
I know.
Your manager can handle it. I actually back your manager over Arteta. The issue being, your squad's not ready.
Of course, bro, there's no debate.
Tell me about Jim.
Eric Ten Hag is clear of that Lego brickhead prick.
Hey, guys, let's go back to Chelsea, because this is what we're in.
Me, you're fourth, we're first.
Anyway, let's talk about Kepa, yeah? Another banger performance.
1 second. We've got some rivals here. Let's just quickly get him out of the way. Guna, what are you saying, mate?
Oh, thank you for having me, mate. Yeah, this United fan's very cocky. But he won't be so cocky next week, Sunday, when we humble him at Emirates. Rashford's going to realise.
Yeah, what happened last time? Tell me the result from the last game, mate. Tell me the result.
We'll see this
time.
Tell
me the result.
You come to the Emirates,
tell me the result.
And you get humbled. You get humbled
your fans have the audacity to say, hold on. Your fans, your grown-ass fucking 65-year-old virgins of fans had the audacity to say Partey is better than Casemiro yesterday.
This season,
Shut the fuck up.
Who's first?
This season.
No. Listen.
You're forgetting the humbling that you received from Brighton and Brentford and the 6-3 humbling that you got from City.
Who did we beat last game? You're mentioning Brentford. Who did we beat last game?
Not better than Casemiro.
In your 7-game run.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but then United fans are getting hyped. In their 7-game run, 6 of the teams were bottom half teams.
Bro, Arteta is your hero. That says everything. Arteta is your hero.
You will get humbled next week. I can guarantee you that.
Anyway,
bro, I'm the A of GNA, bro.
This isn't.
Don't watch.
I'm telling you this right now, bro.
When Odegaard scores next week, does the
Arsenal
3-pointer,
bro. Listen. I can't help but laugh. Arteta is your hero, bro, and you're talking to me.
Hold on.
Arteta is your hero. That's what I'm saying. Arteta is your hero.
Listen.
You're a one-man team. If Rashford gets injured, you're finished.
Guna.
Bro, Rashford is clear of all your attackers. Just saying.
Calm down.
Is there anything else you want to say other than talk about United? Have you just come on to argue with United? Because I want to talk.
Oh no,
I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about your players, but this Arsenal fan wanted to start running his mouth.
No, you were talking about us, but we'll humble you next week, and you'll be real quiet.
Stay on the sidelines, man. When you get slapped up.
Let me stop, because I want to talk Chelsea anyway, right? So we've got Umar that says, "Love Todd B. Please get Oshiman in summer, please." Is what Umar's saying. Thank you for the donation, bro. Appreciated. let's go on to Ches. I want to talk to Chesney first because I haven't spoke to him in a while. Ches, what you saying, my man?
What you saying, bro? Been a minute.
Been a minute, man. Hope you're well. How are things?
I'm good. But Chelsea right now, man. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's all a bit of a circus, but I can see the positives. But it's a good conversation. It's a good conversation.
So come on, tell us yesterday's performance. What are you saying? I mean, it was all right. It's a bit of a smash and grab. Like, are you happy with the signing of Mudryk? Like, what are you expecting for this window as well?
You know what? Yeah, it kind of yesterday's performance kind of highlighted a lot of things. It showed that you should trust the process. Obviously, that dreaded word, because Badiashile looked cold for his first game in. Young guy, everyone was doubting him for the price. I was hearing like back up to like Guardiola, whatever his name is. So it was good to see him perform. And obviously the same old story of our attack and midfield is just a bit lackluster, no pace. But even the players who perform decent, it shows that like there's another level to reach. So I'm happy we got Mudryk, got Felix coming back. Obviously his player's out, but we're in desperate need of like a revamp. And we just need a bit of patience because I don't think it's gonna happen overnight. But yesterday's game, you highlighted a lot of things. Like Koulibaly's a bum. That guy should not be starting for our club. That clown. Then you've got Gallagher. Don't get too gassed over Gallagher. You know, like that guy has a 1 in 10 performance, and Ziyech as well. Like they turn up when they want to, and it's just a bit annoying. But good to get a win. I'm not going to get overly excited. I'm going to be grounded, and a good acid test to be Liverpool because Chelsea. How many times, guys, do Chelsea have an opportunity to push on? And we always like go back, and we always like lose games. Like look at Liverpool. Like next week's a good example. Like typical Chelsea, we'll go Liverpool next week and get a draw or lose, and then we're like,
"You think you'll get a draw? You think you'll get a draw?"
We'll definitely get a draw.
I mean, it's the battle of the mids.
Maximum result. You'll get a draw. Maximum.
I think the thing is like Chelsea do this. Like we'll have good, decent performance. We think, okay, cool. Let's push on. Ziyech, Havertz, you scored a goal. Let's see let's say Lewis Hall, you play well. Gallagher, you was consistent for 1 game, put it into 2. And next week, I don't know.
There's no consistency in this team. We've had that even under Tuchel. We never had that consistency. That's for me. That's why we have low-class players. And that's what I'm saying. I need them gone. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to name him Mason Mount, but get these guys out who have these 1-game wonders, who have the 1-season wonders, who have the half a season. Kai Havertz always shows up at the end of the season every time, but even this season he's not doing it. So I need to see some consistency. These players are not top lads. Get rid of them. We'll start seeing some consistency from these wins.
Can I ask a question quick? Matt? In your opinion, who's been the least consistent player this season for you? Like the most disappointing player this season so far?
Disappointing or most consistent? There's 2 answers. Because if you're talking most
the least consistent, the one who's been up there and everywhere.
I think they've
Mason Mount. Mason Mount. I expected
Havertz over Mount. I'm sorry, and I'm not even being biased.
For me, Mason Mount. I expected Mason Mount to progress, but he hasn't progressed since 2020. I saw Mason Mount under Franklin.
The thing is, Matt, Mason Mount can kind of, when you look at his first 2 seasons, he can kind of get away with having a little bit of a dip, in my opinion. You know,
I think he had 1 good season. I think Frank Lampard was best season. I was very happy.
He was good under Tuchel. He was good under Tuchel.
I can't even disagree.
Not really.
We gotta be honest.
I say he was average. I don't think he deserved to win that player.
He wasn't saying he was bad.
He was a big part in us winning the Champions League. Let's not forget.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I gotta give respect.
Well, no, for me, I think the manager won us the Champions League, not the players.
Overall,
you not see the goal against? Who did he score a goal against the first time finish when he on the turn? Like he played well in the Champions League.
No. I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying about the manager, but I'm saying Mount had to execute. Havertz had to execute.
Let me say, Timo Werner played well in the Champions League, but he's gone because he knows he's finished. Right, Timo Werner. He played good in Champions League. He won us the Champions League, as everyone puts in brackets, because he played in the Champions League with us.
Wait, Matt, can I ask you a question? Out of all the dross that we're trying to get rid of, do you honestly feel that Mason Mount can't do a job off the bench or as a squad player? Honestly.
Exactly. For me, he is a squad player. I would keep him as a squad player, but he would never, ever play as a squad player. The fans would never let it happen. The manager doesn't have the balls to put him as a squad player. He'll probably cry, go on social media with all PR bullshit. So the best thing for me to do is sell him. I'd rather sell him than have him on this pitch.
Because we can see that they're number one. They're trying to clear out as many people as possible in summer. And from the signing of Mudryk, I know we'll get into that. You can see that they're a bit advanced in that. Obviously, I'm still hoping we bring in a midfielder, but I still think that Mason Mount, he knows that his place ain't secure because these guys are ruthless. They're bringing in new players now, So Mason Mount knows that. Listen, I've been comfortable for too long. I'm gonna have to pick it up. Otherwise, I'm gonna get
And
dropped.
mate,
So I don't think he's the poster boy that you're making him out to be. Not going forward anyway. I don't see that. I'll be honest.
I was gonna give a perspective of of bias. If I take the bias out of the equation, I can say, look, I was mad when I heard the initial deal for Mudryk going to Chelsea. I was fuming, but then I realized that Chelsea don't do so well when they have good attackers. They don't create opportunities for them. So I don't know how Mudryk's gonna fare.
Hang on, but if you're an £80 million player,
I think Mudryk's come to create. I think Mudryk
but if you're a generational talent, as everyone fucking proclaims, you should be creating your own
everybody
shit.
needs service, mate. And Mount, I've watched Mount play a few times.
Genuinely believes that.
I've watched Mount play a few times this season.
I saw Mount 3 times yesterday.
No, I did. I've watched Mount against us. I've watched Mount again. I've watched Mount a couple of times this season, actually. I can't lie. And when he has the ball, he looks forward, but then he always passes sideways or backwards. He has no creativity about him. I don't know.
He gets the service.
I'm not doing. Listen.
You guys need, if you're going to spend, look, if Todd Bowley's going to continue with this method, why don't you get a Madison, someone with creativity, someone that can provide your attackers with the opportunities they need?
Mudryk.
Okay, all right. Hold on, because I'm tired about hearing about transfers and Mount. It's the same shit I've been hearing for 6 months, so I haven't been on YouTube.
But the same problems are still here.
I know. Listen. I'm gonna articulate for you really quick, okay? Chelsea in the transfer window, summertime, new owner. They switched the manager. They made a few mistakes. Moved past the summer. We get to January, right? We're in January. We stole Mudryk. Honestly, I could be asked. I don't really care about that player, but obviously it's a better attacker than what we have now, so I'm not going to complain. Moving forward, Badiashile, great debut. Moving forward, Chelsea Football Club are in the mud right now. It's cool. Just accept it. Like, Arsenal fans coming to talk shit, I'm going to let you guys talk shit. You're playing beautiful football. It is what it is, bro. But don't get gassed. Don't sit here and go, this is the greatest team since sliced bread.
Mate, I'm not even chatting shit. I'm just giving you my honest opinion.
No, I know. I'm just getting shit off my chest. Trust me. It's been a long season. It ain't you. So, I'm just saying, enjoy your time. You guys deserve. I'm not even going to go at you. How can I? You're first. United, show the fuck out. You ain't ready for a title race, but we'll see what happens.
No one's chatting smoke from United, bro. We're just going off of the recent games, bro. No one's getting too hyped in our fan base.
I'm just saying. Now, talking strictly about Chelsea.
I'm just telling you.
All good. Mason Mount. We have this argument about Mason Mount year in, year out. It's always polarizing. The guy's a good player. He's not generational. It's that simple. Can he start? Yes. Has his form dipped? Yes. Therefore, he should be coming off the bench. I'm done talking about Mason Mount. I don't even want to hear it no more. Continue whatever you were saying. That's it. I don't want to hear about Mason.
I want to go to forward quickly. Forward, what are you saying, man? About yesterday's game.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Innit? Like, it's just funny hearing people talk about the same things, which is like
the
same venom, because like we've seen the same football for the last however many months. Like, it's not changing. Like, it's the same thing. So there's nothing really to be getting worked up about, you know. Like, because for me, again, I said from day one, I said from day one that it's going to be a tough season. Once we got slapped up by Brighton, I said, okay, top four's done. Season's pretty much done unless we win the cups, which we've both been knocked out of since. So let's just go over the ride, see if the youngsters develop, see which of these frauds are going to step up. If not, then the frauds need to leave. And then just go on to next season. And that's really it for me. And I guess now, the thing that's a little bit different now is that, okay, now we actually have some new signings that I can be excited about. Because again, I've been saying for the longest that the football has not been good for 13 months. Pretty much since November 2021. 2021. Since we beat Juventus 4-0, the football has been appalling. And since then, it's maybe been at most 5 games. I'm like, you know what? That was a great performance, a great win. That's Chelsea level. That's about it in that time period. So at least now we have Mudryk. In a couple of games, we're going to have Felix back. And maybe they can bring some excitement to watching Chelsea. Because, guys, let's be honest. That 90 minutes against Palace was not exciting, guys. It was not exciting. And other than the new signings, what is there really to talk about that was different from what we've seen in the last 6 months? It was the same performance that we've seen from Mount many times. Havertz was wasteful. Yes, he got his goal and credit to it because it was a very good leap, a great header, but it was more of the same from Havertz. More of the same from guys like Jorginho, more of the same from Thiago Silva. Again, our standout best player, who's a 38-year-old. Guys, A 38-year-old is
It's kind
constantly
of
probably the
embarrassing for
best
you,
player
man,
on the
isn't it?
pitch. It's more than embarrassing. So again, I don't know why people are getting worked up by it. This is just what Chelsea is right now. But the silver lining is that we're spending like a big club. We're moving to teams in the transfer window. Arsenal have been the best season they've had in years, and yet they're rattled because we just took their number one target. So I'm happy about that.
And Felix as well.
And Felix, of course, as well. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about the fact that yes, while we're moving crazy aggressive in the market, and we have a manager, so we have a owner who's moving like this is flipping football manager. I mean, man's even jumping in spaces online, bro, and listening to the fans, bro. It's crazy. But listen, man, I'm happy that we're still spending, because people said that when we had all the sanctions that Chelsea are gonna go back to the 90s where they weren't good and all this and blah blah blah. We're not gonna spend money. No. You still see we're spending money. So we're gonna be back. We just have to be patient. We have to wait, because we have been waiting for a while. Let's not forget it's been 6 years since we've had a title challenge. So I'm happy to wait 1 year, maybe 2 years, see how it develops on the Potter, and Chelsea will be back. So
we're gonna win the league this season.
Oh, it's simple as that. Like
it is as simple as that. People just get worked up.
The reason why I see the positives, for me, I can't speak for everyone. For me, is because we'd spend this big money on like established players, late 20s, and like Lukaku, for example. Like I prefer them to invest in prospects and kind of invest in different parts of the teams if necessary, to see some sort of progress. No one's expecting this season for us to like freaking beat Dortmund by a canter, get to semis, have a good top four run. It's probably not going to happen, is it? But at least if we can see some development in terms of style of play, in terms of profile of players, and that way we coming forward and come together as a team, because we've been disconnected as a club for a long time. That Champions League marked over a lot of issues, and we kind of like backburned it because we won the Champions League, and of course, like you get that thrill from it. But if we're being honest, the club right now, if you look at the players we're getting last summer, I know it's a panic summer, but it's just all a bit of a mess. So I'm happy to see them like progress, and I think you put it perfectly, man. It's simple as that, innit? Like all these Mount debates, it's all a bit nonsensical, innit? It's all a bit silly. Like he's decent, he's just not a great player. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, not generational. Yeah.
But again, we can sit here and say, it'll be fine, trust the process. But when, again, I'm going to back Potter, but I don't think Potter will ever win as a Premier League, because I don't see his authoritarian in him. To win a Premier League, you got to have some authoritarian and dictate what you want and what you don't want. I don't see him coming on Tuesday and saying, I want A, B, and C out and D, E, F, G in. I don't see that from him. I don't see anything from him. And on the pitch,
what are you talking about? I don't get what you're talking about. I don't get what.
No, I'm going back to the point where everyone's saying that, trust this process, trust the process. Just wait. Take your time. We can't take our time and just wait when we have this, when we have this manager here who's not dictating and having any authoritarian.
Yeah, but we're sitting here and saying Mason Mount,
and we're saying Mason Mount debates are useless.
Let it finish.
I'll just quickly answer. When we say Mason Mount things are useless, no, it's very important, because I'm sorry, this guy is worse than what we expect because of what he does behind the scenes. So I think it is a big topic that we need to discuss. But go on.
Okay, yeah. With Graham Potter, I criticised him after the last game. I was pissed. Ask Jim how angry I was after the last stream. I was annoyed, bro. Yeah, but I can't fault Potter yesterday. He done what I wanted him to do at the game against Fulham. He dropped Koulibaly, he dropped Aspi, he brought in Badiashile, who we've just signed, who again, like I said, they've obviously identified him as a player who can do a job back there. What Potter would expect from his centre-backs. And I'm not sure about you guys, but just from watching him, I just felt at ease. Because when I'm watching Koulibaly, I'm just like, is this guy going to slip? Is he going to fall over? Is he going to do a madness? But yeah, again, I felt like, Shelley was composed. Chalobah is not a natural right back even, but then again, he done a good job yesterday. So I think Potter made some good changes. Again, we're not going to get the free-flowing football we want to see, because there's still gaps in the midfield. There's still gaps in the team. But I don't understand why we're even speaking about Potter long-term, because, we all know Potter might not be the guy to bring us back to the glory days. But in terms of where we are, we have to accept where we are. We're in the transition, and what they're looking to do in terms of the owners and everyone upstairs, Potter is the right guy for that, in my opinion. But again, whether it's going to take us to the glory days, that's something that we will speak about when we get to that stage, when he gets his players and it's not working out. Then we can say, okay, cool, this might not be the right man to take Chelsea back to the top. But for now, let the guy cook, man. Let the guy, we're simmering right now, man. And the signings made so far, let's be honest, they've come in and they've done all right. Mudryk is someone that,
you see,
again, I didn't really look into him just because I always thought he was going to go Arsenal. So surprised that we got it done. Good signing, but again, I'm only gonna say it's a top signing if we bring in again Caicedo,
midfielder, right back.
Midfielder, yeah. So
Mudryk is
now
really good.
Yeah, let's not look into it too much, man. Potter does make the good decisions yesterday.
Most Arsenal fans would probably be salty and say Mudryk is not good, untested, but I've seen enough of him in terms of technical ability to rate him quite highly. I think with the right coaching, he can reach the top level, and that's me taking the bias out of it. And the second part is when I seen that new centre back that you guys had, he gave me more of that Saliba vibe, calm, composed, doesn't lose the ball, doesn't panic. So it's good to see it, like, not good for us, but good to, from a Chelsea perspective, to see somebody composed on the ball. Because, when Chelsea defenders have the ball, they usually hoof it. But he's very composed, very, very composed.
Very composed. Jem, you were there yesterday. Is he quite quick? Because I was trying to work it out. He's a tall lad, so he looks like he strides towards the ball. But is he quick?
He covers ground really well. Yeah. He covers ground really well.
He covers the ground really well. Said, yeah.
For me, like I watch a lot of French league football because again, I feel like they adapt quite well to the Premier League. So it's always good for scouting players. And again, people call it a farmers league or whatever, but you find a lot of hidden gems in that league. And for me, again, I watched a lot of PSG games, and whenever Monaco played like PSG, Badiashile always was up for the battle against the likes of Mbappe, Neymar, Messi. Like he's a very good centre back, composed. He's good on the ball. Again, having a left-footed centre back, especially in this modern era, is so important. So I'm happy to have him here. I think even with previous Potter teams, he's always had like really physically dominant centre backs. Like, you look at the likes of Webster, Dan Burn, Lewis Dunk. Like, so having Badiashile, a unit in our team, is going to be good on set pieces. So again, I like the fact we signed him. My only issue is just that we have Colwill there, who for me is arguably better. He's obviously free, an academy product, so he already understands what we want to do here. There's no need for him to like sort of integrate into the team with like a language barrier or anything like that. So that was just my only issue, because it's going to be difficult keeping both of those guys in the same age bracket happy when they're both left-footed centre backs. Quite difficult.
All of our defenders speak French, so there won't be a language barrier. Thiago Silva, Fofana.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. That is true. I just meant like adapting to a new environment, a new country. Like again, I think he's composed, and I think he will be able to do that. But obviously, with Colwill, who's free, understands the country, like the league, everything. You don't have to actually like.
So
you don't have to cater for that part. Is what I'm saying. I hear you. I hear you on that.
I watched Badiashile yesterday, and obviously I got to see him on his debut visually. And what I would say is the first 10-15 minutes looks a little bit shaky. Don't get me wrong, but then he sort of just grew into it, and then next to Thiago Silva, the one thing I noticed a lot between the two of them, and more from what I've seen with Thiago Silva and Koulibaly, is there was a relationship. They were constantly, I'm not joking, they were constantly doing that to each other. Every time Zaha moved to the right, to the left, they were both talking to each other. It wasn't just Silva. Badiashile shouting at Lewis Hall, come here. Like he was trying, I'm not saying he's like a born leader or anything, but he was showing that he has qualities to organise and help from the back. And even shouting in Silva's ear once Zaha moved across to the right, he was in his ear. Silva, like I was there, I could see it. Like what I'm saying is he's I like that. And on top of that, he's just calm and technically on the ball. What impressed me with him, he's got the ability to move the ball quickly forward. Like he can play a pass. Like he's very good at just bang. There
was even a bit where he went in. He like sort of went into midfield and played the ball when he was under pressure, but he just done it as if there was no one around him when there was an attacker sort of running towards him. And Jem, I'm glad that you said that in terms of communication, because Koulibaly, obviously, like on TV, we're not going to be able to hear them, but he comes across as someone who's quite shy in his shell.
He doesn't say anything. Don't say one word to Koulibaly.
Do you know what I mean? So it goes to show, man, the fact that Potter brought Koulibaly on and put him on at left back. He shows he just does not trust him. Does not trust him at centre back.
There was times where Lewis Hall kept, because I think the problem with Lewis Hall is, and I like him, is that I think he's a natural wing back, meaning that he likes to be further up the pitch rather than being defensive, in my opinion. And there was a lot of times yesterday where there was just a huge gap between Badiashile and Hall, and too much of a gap, even from throw-ins at the other side. And you see Badiashile and Silva shouting at Hall, come back, come here, like, don't leave that space. You know what I mean? Like, constantly on him, and he picked up on it, and he kept dropping back, and they were help sort of guiding him.
So mad.
Badiashile,
I saw the video yesterday.
He was acting like he was like 28, 29, like mature. It was weird. Like, but it was good.
Apparently, he was the captain at Monaco.
Yeah.
So
I was the video again more vocal, physical Christensen.
Yeah, he's more vocal. What I'll say about the physicality with him is he had some strong, quick players up against him yesterday. Doesn't get pushed off the ball easy. He proper likes a tussle. He'll have it with you. And I was
there was
like,
that chance
okay,
when
cool.
Zaha tried to run past him, and he like just like he went towards the ball. It didn't even look like he was like running for the ball, and he just managed to get there before Zaha. And Zaha's a quick, physical lad. So this is a good signing, man. This is a good signing.
It is early doors, and then we've got Liverpool next, and that's a big test. And obviously, like debut, look, the debut was good. Now I hope that he can continue, and I hope Potter looks at that and goes, you know what? Just give the boy a chance. He's playing quite well. He's him look comfortable. Let's go. Just
if the rest of our young talent can pan out like this, the rebuild's coming sooner than later.
I like Zakaria. I was watching a couple of games with Zakaria in the middle. He seems to be defensively exactly what Chelsea need. You know, in that CDM position, commanding tackles, moves the ball forward, progresses. He's very good. Very good, actually, from what I've seen.
He's not really a CDM, though. That's the thing. Like, he's more of
like
that's
what I wanted to say. He's a box.
What we need is like a Partey, a Rodri, a Casemiro type defensive midfielder who can break up play himself, but then also be the platform to our attacks. And Zakaria is not that on the ball. Like on the ball,
Zakaria, he's actually not yet.
Technically that secure. Like
someone's mics are going mute when you don't talk. But I wanted to say to the rest of you guys, because it's an interesting point we want to bring up. Badiashile is the first signing under our new recruitment structure versus all the signings we had in the summer. Now, originally we were going to go for Vardiol, remember? Badiashile is supposed to be the Vardiol alternative. And so far, he's looking very, very good. Now, I don't want to over jump into any conclusions, anything like that. But what I see is, if the recruitment team and the board are going to be getting good players like this, let's be honest, none of us knew who Badiashile was. I don't care how in the know you try to act.
I did.
You did not know
most didn't.
You knew his game. You knew his game. You
watch
knew
a lot
his
of French
skills.
football, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got to give it to you. All right. So forward aside, who specializes in watching the French league also, many people did not know this signing of where he even came from. And yet now you look at him and he looks, the way he settled in the first 25 minutes, like Jem said, that first 15, he was shaky, as a lot of people are. But that first 25 minutes, gems of passes I'm seeing transitions properly, like things that Koulibaly was shaky on. And it's just, if we can get players like that, man, if like Fofana in the front, all these things, if those players reach these types of levels, I'm looking forward to the future. So that's the positive I took from it.
That's a fact. People would have to eat their words about Bowley, honestly.
You see, and at the beginning, I thought that Bowley was making all of the decisions because he was just going for anybody that he saw. And I thought that Potter had absolutely no say in this. Because again, I don't know, there was somebody earlier that said that, Potter doesn't give me that authoritarian vibe. And for a manager, for you to reach a top level, you need to have that discipline about you. You need to have that authority about you. You need to be commanding. Arteta was ruthless. He was going for Aubameyang, even though Aubameyang was he was the captain of the club and he was loved by the fans. Everybody was behind Aubameyang's side. But when Arteta took him out, everybody was starting turning on Arteta. They were saying, no, why are you getting rid of our captain? He's our top striker. He just won the Golden Boot last season. Why are you doing? But he still stuck to his guns. I said, this guy is trouble in the dressing room. He said, I'm getting rid of him because I want total control in the dressing room. They won't go to Aubameyang now. They're gonna go to me. And I think that was the momentum change, because now everybody saw Arteta as a coach, but they also saw him as, like, if you really mess up and if you really do something, if you really change the middle of the dressing room, if you really change the vibe within the team, then you're gonna be out. He'll take no bullshit. You need that type of
people are afraid of the unknown, man.
I want to explain one key point that a lot of people are missing when it comes to the whole Potter situation, right? Because again, I see what people say when they think he's not an authoritarian, he's not like super aggressive on a touchdown, or gives that kind of aura, which I agree with, especially compared to an Arteta who did play quite nice at first, but later you did really see that he could have that kind of more ruthless side to him. But again, when you go back to why Tuchel was sacked or let go or whatever, that was because Bowley wanted to have this really personal relationship with the manager, where there's a very clear, direct line of contact between the two. And Tuchel was not really for that. He thought that they were being a bit too intrusive. Obviously, there was the whole 4-4-3 situation apparently that happened and whatnot. And Tuchel thought that's just not how I've managed at other clubs, and I don't want to manage like that here. So relationship obviously broke down. Obviously, with Potter coming in, yes, people want to say he's a yes man and all that or whatever. But Potter came in with a team. Again, Bowley invested so much money into not just Potter himself, getting him out of Brighton, obviously with a compensation package as well, but also getting his whole team, his recruitment team from Brighton along with him, as well as all these these recruitment gurus like Bavell and all these other people that we've got in Joe Shields, etc., etc. So Potter has a team there that will be his contact directly towards Bowley. So it isn't always Potter that's talking, but trust me, Potter's voice will be heard. And when it comes to making new signings, who are they recruiting, who are they looking to get in and target, Potter is involved 100% in that process. So I feel from now on, now Bowley's officially let go of the reins of being like our main negotiator and being involved in everything that we're looking to do in terms of recruiting players. Now we're going to start to see us make more shrewd signings, not just rely on like hijacking players and doing all of this crazy stuff in the market. We're going to have more of a coherent transfer strategy, which is all I've been asking for the last 5-6 years. Because again,
I agree.
you look at the likes of Lukaku, Werner, Havertz, etc. Whether you rate these guys or not, they came in and there wasn't a clear plan on how we were going to get the best out of their skill sets in this team. And that is the biggest issue that I've had for a long, long time with Chelsea. So I'm hoping that begins to change. We start to build around the likes of Mudryk. If we end up getting Felix, build around these guys because the talent is there. And yeah, I guarantee you, if we don't build around the likes of Felix or Mudryk in the Premier League, they will probably end up being flops. And that's just how football is these days. It's so reliant on systems and how you get the best out of certain players and tactics and whatnot. So if we do build around these guys,
that's the key word. That's the key word.
And we will be a sustainable team because I don't want to just be winning a Champions League every now and then and FA Cups and then finishing 10th for following season. That's dead.
Exactly.
I want to be consistently challenging for the league, and that is the best parameter for shows just how good a football team is. So that's what needs to happen.
Literally everything there, you couldn't have said it better. Gunnar, all I'm gonna say, Gunnar, and any rivals listening, just you lot laugh whilst you can, because this squad is getting flipped. These owners are not here to play. This squad is getting flipped. So you lot laugh whilst you can. That's all I'm going to say on that, man. Because right now, Chelsea are in the mud. Chelsea are in the mud. And obviously, it's rival chat and they're going to take the piss out of us. It is where it is. But there is context into who we brought in last season. I think Todd, for a guy that's never come into, football, he done a pretty good job, to be fair, in terms of the signings that he made. Obviously, when we look back at it now, a lot of them haven't worked out. But there were still a lot of plugs that had to be filled. But now, as Ford just mentioned there, January going forward, I think the strategy is coming into place. Very clear now that they're making shrewd signings. They're signing players that they think will hit, will go into the structure of the team and what Potter wants to do going forward. So, and it's going a lot quicker. So maybe these injuries were a blessing in disguise, because I don't think without all these injuries, we're not getting Mudryk, we're not getting Felix. We're going to depend on Pulisic. We're going to depend on Sterling. We're going to keep depending on these players that haven't been getting any creativity in midfield. And then we're going to just, sort of stall, maybe get 1 or 2 signings in January. But do you know what? I'm annoyed that we've got this many injuries, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because it's meant that things are getting done at least 6 months before they were meant to be getting done in summer anyway.
So, Don, I do agree.
All rivals, you lot just laugh whilst you can. That's all I'm going to say. That's all.
I'm not laughing. I'm not trying to laugh at Chelsea, because if Chelsea's progress,
not you. I mean, transition, rivals in general.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Chelsea's progression is somewhat close to ours and is going to follow the strategy that we followed, it's not a laughing matter, because it's a matter of time. And the second point I was going to make is, again, with this transfer method that Bowley and your basically the Chelsea recruitment team are following. Again, it did seem a bit reckless to me at the beginning, because you're just buying anybody that was hyped, anybody that was of high target from other teams. But now I can see that
understand it though. Do you get the logic behind it? We lost Rudiger. We had to get a like for like in terms of an established world-class player. Koulibaly's past it, of course, but we all, at the time, a lot of Chelsea fans were saying this is a good signing. We had to sign him. Left back, we lost Alonso. We had to go get someone else. Cucurella, we had to sweeten them up a little bit, because Colwill, that's another thing as well. Tuchel wanted to sell Levi Colwill, right? And Todd Bowley said, no, let's give them a little bit extra, sweeten them up. You take him on loan, and then you get me. Next season, he'll come back to Chelsea. Tuchel wanted to get rid of him. So there's context to the signings that were made last season. A lot of that money that was spent was on replacements. It weren't on improving the squad. The squad had to get improved.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of key figures.
But then you guys need to work on your midfield. You have zero creativity in the midfield. Absolutely nothing.
Listen, you're telling Chelsea fan, we
know this.
Trust me.
No, 100%. I'm listening to this guy. I'm listening to an Arsenal fan telling us, like, bro, we know this stuff. Like,
we know this stuff.
No disrespect.
But there's context behind it, and obviously rivals aren't going to hear that. All they're going to talk about is 450 million. 450 million spent. I get.
No, you guys are working on all the other areas, but the area that you need. That's what we're saying.
Caicedo will be here by the end of the week. Don't worry.
Actually, all right. So it's good to actually hear Rebel fans realize that our midfield needs a lot of work.
But forward, the thing is, they're saying that like Chelsea won't address it. We will address it. Obviously, summer we had to address the centre back. Who was it? It was the
No. They're saying, are we going to address it in January? And to be honest with you, I don't know. I
We're
don't
getting
know.
Caicedo by the end of the week. I guarantee it.
Please don't get clipped up. Please don't get clipped up.
The midfield this window. I'm confident we are. I'll be honest.
We definitely will sign him midfield. I don't know about right back though. Not sure about right back, but
I think for now with the right back situation, I think they're just gonna keep playing Chalobah there. I'll be honest. I don't really see.
I think.
But listen, when
come back soon, I don't think they're gonna panic
as well.
When Chalobah has been center back, he's played well. When they put him to right back, he's been dross, man. Come on, like
he's only had 2 games at right back though. Like it was Man City where he was.
And, I'm not even trying to go at Chalobah. Like I'm saying, he's not meant to be at right back. Like it's like when we put freaking Mount in the front three. Like I'm tired of seeing players play.
That, but the thing, Curly, is that like when he's only played 2 games there, and obviously the first game against Man City, any right back, left back can get quick against Man City because of how they do the wide overloads. But the other game it was against Palace, and he was all right there. And again, I don't think he's a great right back, but again, me and Jim have been saying for a long time that he should at least be given a chance there because physically he's more similar to Reece James than Azpilicueta is. So I feel like we can still play a bit more of our normal game where we're not having to rely on his lack of speed, lack of mobility. Again, it's a far cry from Reece James for sure, but for Chalobah, at least there, I can rely on him to lock up a winger.
No. Defensively, I get it. I'm just saying I would prefer a more natural right back in that position. But I just wanted to say this real quick because people are arguing over dumb stuff in the chat. Mudryk did not cost 100 mil. It's 100 mil if we win the league, win the Champions League, and some other stipulation.
It's not even that.
But the actual,
I've explained this to people, the specifics of this actual deal.
Yeah,
it's a £62 million deal, which includes 26.5 million add-ons. Now, them add-ons can only be activated based on his achievements with the football club, and it could be anything from goals like titles to goals scored to whatever that is. We don't know what that is, but from what we've been told, ultimately 20.5 million of that is actually going to the Ukraine soldiers as well for a good cause as well.
Yes, it did.
So you look at it, you look at it on that base. Well,
it's been confirmed that it's the add-ons are to do with Premier League or Champions League win. It's been confirmed.
There you go.
Sure
it's not just that. He has to also perform to get the full 20 million bonus.
Exactly.
So it's like so we can win the Champions League and Premier League, but like Werner did, for example, when he won the Champions League, but he didn't perform. So I'm sure Leipzig didn't get all of their add-ons. For example,
the reason why they
funny, bro.
The reason why they do that is because they want to generate incentives on all the long-term contracts that we do on these players, and that's why you've seen people like Broha who are on long-term contracts but have been given incentives to force them into getting into the first team. So it's like, this is your contract, this is how much you're getting paid, but if you can do A, B, and C very well, we'll also give you this. So it's like it's an incentive.
Jem, that's also how we're dodging FFP. Everybody keeps asking, how are they spending all this money? Because the
long
year
contracts.
Anything.
The way it's the way
amortization. We don't know what it is. Researching. It's simple. But
I mean, it's quite clever, to be honest. And obviously, this is the first time we've actually seen a consortium itself actually
run
a business and run a football club. So it's still early doors in terms of Chelsea and their financial fair play and how we're going to generate the wage structures and the contracts. And part of the reason why we give lengthy contracts is to do with FFP. I really do think that as well.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly
because it gets the books in order. It's literally gets the books in order.
People are laughing about it now, but watch their club do it in a year or two. They're going to be doing the same thing.
They'll be following the consortium rule. Yeah, I think a lot of the bigger clubs across Europe will start looking at consortiums eventually. I really do. And you see how Chelsea set the trend with Roman Abramovich on spending so much money back in 2004. Yeah, we kind of set the trend on a big club just spending money. People used to moan about us buying the leagues and whatever. Yeah, I've got a feeling, and we'll have to see. But I've got a feeling that going down the same route with a consortium in terms of the way we trade, work,
we're spending more money. Yeah, that's what people are. People should really be afraid of that. We're spending more money, and they're trying to fix what the old regime did wrong, which was recruitment. So if we get that right, GG to all of you, like genuinely.
Yeah, I mean, Ruben Loftus-Cheek ain't going nowhere. By the way, I saw them links to him in Leicester. I don't see him going anywhere. Maybe summer, but not now. I don't see
on that game. I hope we do get rid of. I hope we do get rid of one of these players though, like Ziyech or something like that. I just don't know. I think everyone's coming back. I kind of want to move forward as fast as possible. If Ziyech could leave, someone like that, or like Gallagher, that's good money coming in and be like, get some man off the books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's going to be, look, Caicedo is going to be an interesting one because we know it's the midfield area that we want to sort out. The question mark with Caicedo is, are we going to get bent over? Because it looks like it's going to be a 75-odd million deal. A lot of money, but we said the same thing about Enzo being a lot of money. It's an area that we need to prioritise because we only have 2 fit sixes at the moment, so Sakara out as well. For me, you know, can we wait to the summer? Possibly, but when you look at how our squad is and what it needs, I think we can all agree that the midfield itself needs strengthening. So if they do go down to spending 75 million on Caicedo, it's then going to fall down again to the instalment plan. They're going to want a big lump up front. We've seen it with Wesley Fofana when we signed him. We gave him quite a hefty, I'll say hefty, it was about 20 or 30 million pound up front on the first instalment. Maybe we do that. And then we spread it over the plan. Of course, if we have the funds, I'm not saying we haven't got the funds, but if we have the funds available to set the structure in this month, is the question mark right now, because we have just bought in Mudryk as well. I don't know is the answer to that. I think we will spend money, but it's just how.
That's why I don't think we're getting a midfielder yet, because if we're going to get the long-term target, how many long-term targets can we get in January? Everybody keeps talking about Rice. That's a debate for another day. But if that is one of the midfielders you're pulling into this club, it's not going to be in January.
The issue with that, the issue with signing a player like Caicedo in January is there's not really a long negotiating period between it. So when you go into summer windows, even though his value might be 75 million, it gives Chelsea a lot more time to build and work with a structure and maybe pull Brighton down on the price to buy him. But also Brighton themselves will be more up for it because they've got enough time to replace.
The thing is, though,
so when you don't do that, when you take best players out of people's teams like you do in January, you kind of leave them in a hard position. And that's why when you go for someone like Caicedo, a lot of clubs that have their top prospects at their team that are doing very well, that are helping them win these games and form very good, they end up overpricing them. And that's the problem. They will overprice them in these January markets because they want to keep them on.
I do agree. It's so high because Benfica are having a great season and they just topped their Champions League group. So why would he want to let go of one of their best, literally their best player?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Brighton could theoretically get into the top 4 this season. Like they're not far off it. At least top 6 maybe. And that's a great season for them. So Caicedo's worth a lot more money just for that season alone.
Similar to Nkunku, it kind of sometimes is better to pay a bit more money and obviously like lower the amount of demand that can be available for the player. Because in summer, more teams obviously get the money in from the previous season.
But Chaz, we can only do that so much. You know what I mean?
I agree because Mudryk obviously, and then you got
we overpaid for Mudryk. Yeah. Let's call it what it is. It's okay, but I'm saying like we did that, 1, to prevent him from going to Arsenal, 2, because that's what Shakhtar were asking for. So it's like,
but what I would say is we don't need to keep doing this for every single position. Whereas midfield and attack was like very necessary. So like I know what you mean, but I'll give it kind of a blie if we did it for Caicedo only, for example. Like if we did Caicedo and Mudryk could pay a bit more, and less demand in summer, you got the player in, then you could get the DM in summer, and then once we get Caicedo in, we only really need urgently a DM and a right back urgently. So you don't need to.
That's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to say quickly that like a bad example of us doing bad business in terms of like overpaying for a position would be if we went and got Gavardio for 100 million because we've already invested a lot in defense. Again, Fofana, we still got to come back. He's an 80 million defender. Obviously, we've still got Colwill and the cut as well could come through. So it made sense that we went for the cheaper option in Badiashile, who, for me, not that much worse than Gavardio, really. Also physically probably better for the Premier League suited. So but for midfield, obviously that is a key area which we've not done much investment in the last 6-7 years. So that's one where I'm saying, you know what, if we got to get Enzo, we need to overpay. Please do it because we are in desperate need of a midfielder who can run games.
The problem is for 110 up front is not that thing.
We're not getting Enzo. Yeah,
it's too much money up front. They want 110 up front, like in cash.
No, we've been told that Caicedo's 75 million, and that's plus. That's not even just like
but Jem, they could spread the cost out of the contract, which would save them money.
The initial cost that we're going to pay for Caicedo will be a lot less than the initial payment.
Of course it would be. It would be, but still, it's not cheap, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying we shouldn't spend that money, but just bear in mind that Brighton, if they're going to sell one of their best players in January, they're going to overvalue him.
They're going to wax us,
exactly. What you forget is they can't replace that player. They'll probably struggle to replace that player in the January market. So they're actually going to weaken their team when they're in good form at the moment. Let's be serious. They're slapping all the teams at the moment, especially Chelsea. Liverpool. You know what I mean? So like they're
Well,
in command.
imagine Liverpool get owners and they splash in, I don't know, 60 million in summer, and then they say yes. Now we've got more competition. So that's why I think for midfield, it might be a bit worth it. It might be.
It is because we can't have Jorginho and Kovacic our only fit sixes. That really is a problem for me. You know, we do need something.
I say just give up the season if it means in the summer you're gonna go and get an Enzo or a proper midfielder along with a proper right back cover, along with maybe another midfielder on top of that. Then I will watch Jorginho and Gallagher.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I could care less. But if you don't get a midfielder and right back depth this January, and we go the season, and then in the summer you don't get a proper midfield target, I'm already on the board. I'm on the owners. I don't care about anything else.
Agreed.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to have to wait. Look, Chelsea, I've got Liverpool this week on Saturday. I'm trying to actually sort out a train ticket to go, but very hard to do at the moment.
2-2 draw.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll be doing a match preview to that. Along with this week, we'll probably utilise a transfer show. I'm sure Caicedo, more news will build up with that. Maybe Chelsea will go out and surprise us again with something. I think the one thing I would say about this consortium so far is how surprising they've been, how quick they've been just to go bang, bang. It's not like we get a whiff of it and we know what they're doing. They just do it. And it's like Fabrizio Romano exclusive, bang. Chelsea have just done this and they bring up this random player and you're like, shit, what's going on? Like, but we linked to this guy. Where did he come from? You know, so be prepared for that, more of that, I think. Because I do think we're going to get maybe one more, possibly two.
Well, the good thing is that we find process in these things because we find a target. That's it. And that's the good thing. Yeah. We're clear to what we want and what we kind of want our team to get. But the thing is that now, as everyone mentioned, we need a midfielder, okay? And it's essential. Okay, I do agree with like Caicedo is like the player that we need on, but sometimes it's like good in my view to look outside the box. You know, I've been looking about players in other leagues as well who are kind of interesting. Like I've been rooting in my eyes Lens captain Seko Fofana, who's kind of interesting.
You know, Bull.
That kind of player,
he's a big baller.
That guy is very interesting, and you know what? It would be very funny if we bring him, because if you look at his storyline, he's actually a Man City academy reject. So if you bring him in, he might want to spice things up.
Yeah, interesting.
We also have like Ismail Benacer, who's like a baller for AC Milan, who can also. He's a nice player. I don't mind. I mean, I've been looking through many players. I also I like scouting around Europe. So sometimes when you think of players, you don't really want to stick with the British league, because mostly the prices are going to be very high. So sometimes what I think that the only issue I have is that they need to like think outside the box and look for players that are not really in big leagues and have not made a name for themselves, but that are kind of amazing footballers and that can offer. Like,
a good example. We got the Santos kid, Lisbon last season. Like Palhinha is a solid DM. Like a lot of people are overlooking him, and I think Fulham got for like 17 million in the summer. Yeah, that's somebody again that I looked at. I thought, you know what? If he went to Chelsea, that is a physical profile that can match up to a Casemiro, Rodri, Partey, and that's what I wanted. But obviously,
no chance in January, though. No chance in January. The thing is, just one thing on Caicedo. Chelsea have wanted Caicedo for ages. It's been on our radar for ages. The whole link in terms of Brighton and Graham Potter as well. So with that one, I'll be honest. I can see them paying. I can see them paying this month, just because we need to fill that position, and the fact that Potter wants him and it's been on our radar for a while. Before Enzo, he was our number one target in midfield, from what I've seen from a lot of like Fabrizio, Ben Jacobs especially. He's mentioned his name for quite a while. So before Enzo, I know Enzo is the better player, let's be honest, but Caicedo was Chelsea's main target in midfield. So this month I can see it happening, especially now where it's starting to pick up in terms of all the sounds around it. Fabrizio saying it on his YouTube. Ben Jacobs, like I said, he's been saying it. Simon Phillips has been saying it. I don't see them not paying what they would ask for, because I'm sure they would know what the price would be in terms of letting him go in January. So That one, I know what we're saying, but we definitely can't leave ourselves short, man. If we have to pay a little bit over the odds at the moment for Caicedo, I think they'll do it. As much as we don't want them to, they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it because he's been on the radar for a while anyway.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens this week. I think it'll be a big week in terms of midfield for Chelsea. I really do. I think if we're going to get one or actually try and work on one, we'll learn more this week on it. It seems like Chelsea will be approaching Brighton at some point. You saw the video earlier on from one of the directors of Brighton saying they've not had anything from Chelsea yet. He's not even had an email. So maybe it'll be a little bit like the Mudryk thing, right? You know, they'll get Bowley or they'll get Egg Barley together and just go straight over there with Paul Winstanley and others that have already been at Brighton that have come over to Chelsea. So the relationship's already there between the two, and just try and strike a deal there and then and move forward. And that's the one thing I would say so far about what I've seen with Chelsea is that I think we're at a point now where we're a bit cutthroat from what I've seen in what we want. If we want something, we're just and Bowley wants something, and Bowley wants something, and Potter's like, yes. I think they're very cutthroat. I think they're just going to go for things and just try and get it done there and then. So, you know, it's not a bad way to be. Don't get me wrong. But
look what we did to Brighton. Jesus.
Profiles are going to be important, but I do need to shoot because I've got to get back into work as well. 3 o'clock here. Big up to every single one of you guys that have been here today. It's been a really good show. I've enjoyed this one, actually. Chelsea won. 3 points, guys. Yay. We won.
No Mason Mount debates. Yay. Look how nice the chat is. Wow.
Matt tried to run them back. He tried to run them back, though.
Chelsea transfer talk shows this week. We'll be back. We'll be doing a match preview for the Liverpool again. We'll open up the lines and we'll be talking about the game, the lineup, the set.
When are you doing the match preview? Friday?
Probably Friday, yeah. Mudryk.
Sweet, I'm off work Friday.
There you go. So, you know, all you guys, even forward as well, and Don and everyone that's in here now, if you want to come back through as well, please do so. Not a problem. Mudryk, will he get his debut against Trent? What a game to
imagine Felix and Mudryk against Liverpool. Oh.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens. But guys, we've got 300 and how many likes?
Smash the likes.
Well, actually, we've got 529 likes on GNA TV. I don't know why we've got so many likes, but big up to everyone that smashed the likes over there. Thank you very much on that on YouTube. On Chelsea Fan TV, we've got 130 likes. Let's try and get that over 150 to 200 if you can, guys, before you leave as well. I will be back again very, very soon to talk more Chelsea. Hopefully on midfield this time. We'll be getting some news hopefully on there. Potentially maybe Ben Jacobs. We'll see if Ben Jacobs can join us this weekend at some point. But big up, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Up the Chelsea. And we'll see you again very, very soon.
Up the Chelsea.
Up the Chelsea.